Hey, what's up, guys? First off, I want to say thank you to the folks over at Once Human and NetEase for sponsoring this video today. As some of you know or may have watched it, I did a video back in, I think it was like December, talking about how I'd spent a couple hundred hours in the previous beta, closed beta test 2. Had a really good time with it. I was grinding. It was a really good time. Once Human, to me, felt really different from a lot of like survival crafters or even looter shooters, both from like a thematic standpoint and the social structure of it, particularly in the way that Starry Studio was handling interaction with the community and the kind of content that they were looking to put out. So naturally, I was excited for closed beta test 3. I haven't put nearly as much time into this one as I did the last because I'm not really looking to burn out before launch. And I want to make sure to go in fresh, but I did get plenty of time with it, probably around 30, 40 hours so far with the closed beta test 3, and I can already see some great differences between the second test and the third test. It's pretty clear that Starry is taking player feedback and putting it directly in the game. A couple notes, your bases inside of closed beta test 3 no longer require like a fuel so they don't degrade. That was a big complaint from the community. There's been more loot added to the world, which is fantastic, whether you're doing like your routes, farming cities, or doing events. And there's actually like gear and more recipes and stuff being handed out. So they're definitely taking player feedback and applying it directly to the game. And they've already added a bunch of new features that are pretty interesting. On top of the list for me would be the Eternal Realm. So the structure of seasons for Once Human is you'll have a season and the world's supposed to be different rules, different kinds of drops and things. But then you could take things from each season to your Eternal Land and save it there. I'm not sure how the structure works between seasons, bringing stuff from Eternal back to another season, or if that's possible. But there is a place in your Eternal Land for you to bring stuff from season to season to your Eternal Land. This is your space. You get this big island to explore and build on. Right now, it's only like one kind of island shape, and I'm hoping that they give us the option to either terraform or maybe a few options for different kinds of islands and shapes, because according to Starry Studio, it's going to be pretty interesting. You're going to be able to do anything from, you know, building like your structures or potentially even putting game modes together. One thing they said is you would be able to even put together like custom kind of PvP matches, races, shooter matches, capture the flag, that sort of thing, and have rewards for the people who come back to your Eternal Land. And Eternal Land's apparently cross-server. I'm kind of all over the place here, but I'm just kind of pick up the notes for the stuff for CBT3 that I thought were pretty interesting. Eternal Land sticks out. I think it's going to give players a place to be really creative. And as long as Starry Studio can support that creativity and give us different tools to be able to build different game modes and to be able to structure our Eternal Lands in whatever way that we want them, I think it's a huge selling point for the game. So I'm really excited to see where the Eternal Land goes from where it is now in CBT3. And obviously, I think they're doing an open beta test between CBT3 and launch. So we'll see how it shapes up. I think it's in good shape now. It's a very cool concept. And I can only see it getting better. So hopefully they listen to player feedback, take ideas, and implement them. On top of that, they added on Tier 6, which I did not quite get to. I think I just got to Tier 5, though I did hear that the endgame boss might need a little bit more balancing. Outside of that, progression through the world felt a lot smoother this time around. They took out some little stop gaps that kind of got in the way, like you no longer need flasks to scoop water out of a river and then go heat it up, boil it, whatever. So a lot of good little quality of life bits as well within Once Human's second closed beta test, or third rather. Combat definitely feels smoother, but this is another point of concern for me would be enemy AI is a core, like, and this is Derek, Big D, who we had the interview with back at CBT2. I think that enemy AI is definitely probably the weakest point of the game right now, and we've been told that that's probably the last thing that they'll address. But as it is now, whether it be aliens or humanoid enemies, they're all pretty dumb, and it's not mega engaging. But since Starry Studio seems to be really listening to player feedback, I would guess that they're definitely going to be improving that, and I really hope so, because everything else feels really good. The combat to me feels similar to Division, but not really leaning into like cover-based stuff, but that really smooth third-person combat. Traversal feels really good. They took what was the wings injection from CBT2, and now you can just glide whenever you want using your bird V, who I'm still very confused about. This game's pretty unhinged. There's a lot of like otherworldly things going on in Once Human that really set it apart from other survival craft looter shooters. I'm not even sure how many survival craft looter shooters there really are, other than like I guess like Rust, which is more PvP based. I guess you could say DayZ, sure. A lot of them are very like zombie focused. 7 Days to Die, which just had its, I guess they announced their 1.0 after, I think, a decade in early access, so good for them. But I digress. It is looking good. CBT3 is feeling pretty dang good. Another change that we got to see in this beta test would be the PvE versus PvP server structures. If you chose to play on a PvP server, that's pretty much the system that they had in the second closed beta test. In this one, they brought PvE-centric servers, so the little events that you would get, like getting the crystals that fell from the sky and taking them to refine them, that event is gone. There's some new PvE events, the Prime Wars, which need a little bit of a touch, and I think they need a little stability put on them, but the Prime Wars are a really good idea, a cool way for a server's community to come together and fight some bosses for loot, and they're kind of like souped-up versions of the story bosses and the grindable bosses that you could fight in the game. So that was a good change. I think that's pretty cool. I played around on a PvE server this time around. I played on the standard server for CBT2, and I never really felt like it got toxic. My only concern there with the PvP stuff, and I'm not sure if they have changed it or if they took player feedback. If they have, let me know in the comments section. I didn't have time to really get into a PvP server that much. But the only thing that concerned me was if you killed someone, they would drop a piece of the thing that they're actually wearing, like permanently, and you could take it from them. You couldn't repair it. It became yours until it broke. But that was kind of defeating. I lost a rifle once, but then I got it back, and that was cool. That was the last closed beta test. But that is a little bit concerning. I think the risk versus reward might need a little bit more balance, especially for items that are more rare. So hopefully they're listening to player feedback there, or maybe what I want doesn't matter. Maybe I'm wrong, and I'm cool with that. They've also changed the structure of daily missions. They're moving more to like a weekly thing. There's login rewards, but I don't think it's daily. I think that's also weekly. With a cool reward structure for you to jump in each week, get medals, whatever the current event is going on in game. I think that'll probably work around seasons as well. To get like cosmetics and stuff. There was a earnable sort of like samurai looking inspired cosmetic for CBT3 that does carry into the main game. So if you are try to at least log in. If you're on the beta test, try to at least log in and see if you can get your medals for that. Unfortunate for anybody who was unable to get in the beta. It does seem like they're still giving away keys on their Discord as well, which is super nice. And they gave a few to me to give out on stream, and that was fun. But outside of that, I feel like they're on a good track. There's a lot of good quality of life being put in. There's a lot of good features inside of closed beta test 3 that weren't there in CBT2. It just feels like quality of life, spit shining, improving. As long as they could continue to work on combat, looting, and the world flow, I think they'll be in really good shape. They've already set themselves apart from other looter shooter survival crafters just strictly on the tonality of the world and sort of like the weird otherworldly feel of the entire game, the Lovecraftian kind of big monsters that come out of nowhere or from the sky, and the narrative that is admittedly I don't 100% get, but I 1000% enjoy. It's out there. It's weird. It's not afraid to be weird. And I think that's a good thing. I think a lot of games these days don't take the risks they should. They sort of stay within a grain that makes sense or something that's like pretty commonly acceptable or being done. Once Human really steps out of that. If you've been playing it, let me know in the comments below if you're intending to. Let me hear what you're looking forward to. What do you want to see in this game? I've been reached out to for suggestions or for things I might want to see, and I'd love to get your feedback on that. What kind of stuff would you like to see put in the Once Human, not only for the upcoming open beta, but also for launch? Because it is supposed to launch before the end of 2024. I think it's still slated for Q3. Hopefully they hit that mark, but if they have to push it back for, you know, final polishing or whatever, I'm totally fine with that. But where it is right now, Starry's they're on a good road. I have feedback. I have critiques. I think we all do. We all be fair and balanced. But if they could continue to improve it in the way like they did between 2 and 3, the closed beta tests, then this is a game I'm really looking forward to. I see myself putting hundreds of hours in, like I have in other looter shooters. So let me know what you think in the comment section below. Sound off, and I will see you guys on the next one. Bye.